Before I became successful, I started studying money, and that's exactly what you have to do. Watch this video all the way to the end, just so you can understand more about money and your situation. So, what I like to explain to people is that if you are desperate, I can't teach you how to make money online, and you're not going to make any money online if you're desperate. I know a lot of people think that desperation is going to, I don't know, somehow, some way induce crazy work ethic, and then all of a sudden you're going to make a ton of money. And you hear stories like that all the time. You know, you hear those lies and those myths in the media. Like, oh my God, I was living in my car and then I did this and then I did that and then I did this and then I did that. And then all of a sudden I worked hard. I worked hard. That's you hear that a lot. And then all of a sudden, like I became rich, I became wealthy. But that's not really what happened. What happened is that somebody saw value in what you did and you didn't get a chance, you didn't get an opportunity. Instead, your value you communicated your value well, and then that person moved from point A to point B, which means they bought a ticket, they were entertained, they were happy, they bought your product, it was good, they liked it, and then they told somebody else about it. Value was transferred. That's how you make money, right? And the reason why I can say this confidently is because I studied money a lot before I became successful because I wanted to understand it. You know, if you're going to play this game where you make a lot of money or you try to make money, um, and I say I put the air quotes and I put the quotations there because a lot of people don't really understand where money comes from. They just think it's like this mist in the air. But money comes from one place and one place only. And when I discovered this, it changed my whole paradigm. It changed everything. Money comes from people. That's it. It don't come from no business. It don't come from basketball. It don't come from drop shipping. It don't come from stocks. It don't come from the government. Money comes from people. That's it. And when you help people and you solve their problems in transfer in return, you get money. That's it. When you go viral, if there's some value attached to your virality, you're gonna get money. This is it because it helps somebody go from point A to point B. Think about it in your own life. Um, why did you go to the barber? You went to the barber so that you can move from point A to point B, so that you could get a haircut. Why did you buy your clothes? Just so that you're not outside naked. You know, that's value being transferred to you. You buying your clothes means you don't have to make the clothes. You buying a haircut as a service means you don't have to cut your own hair. So you trade the money so that you can get back more of your time. And when you understand money like that, you'll begin to be able to find it more. One thing about me, you will never ever hear me say, support me. So I will never use those words. You will never hear me say that because that's evidence that you're not a good business owner. You know, if you're asking and begging for support, you're not really giving good value. And this is something that has to be talked about because you think Jeff Bezos is asking you guys for your support. Jeff Bezos, the one who owns Amazon, you think he's begging for your support? No. He created a system where you could tap a button on your phone and you get the product in 2 days. That's valuable. You don't have to go leave your house. This is good for elderly people. You know how many things I buy? You know how many things I buy for my mom just because I had the Amazon app? I can just open it up, tap two buttons, and it's at my mother's doorstep. And she gets the value. She doesn't have to leave the house. I don't have to go over there and bring it to her. Uber, a car comes to my house. You think I could go anywhere in the world now, and I don't have to look for parking. Uber doesn't beg me for their support. They gave me value. That's why I will always continue to buy their products. And you too. The things that you buy, it's valuable to you. Even the Louis Vuittons and the designer. The reason why you see that as valuable is because they've trained you to believe that it's valuable, but you still believe that it's valuable. It's all about you. Even my content. People don't even know anything about me. You know, the fans and the people that I have that watch my content, they know nothing about me. They just know that I'm a handsome guy. I'm a tall, dark, handsome guy. I dabble a little bit in dancing. I dabble a little bit in health education. I'm your medical professional bestie. Some people use me for consultation services. Some people know me as just an internet guy. I'm just good with content, but they don't know anything about me. You know why? Because my content is all about them. And that's how I've been successful. When you can make that transfer from your content being about you to being about other people, trust me, you're going to see a lot of success. So, yeah, trust me. You want to make sure that you are always thinking about the other person and not thinking about yourself. And if you really want to make a lot of money, then you have to be selfless, not selfish.